The hills of West Virginia resound with the sound of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tay Von Austin.
The Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth. It's Mountaineer pride!
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night!
They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the Country Roads Webcast, and it's about that time. We're about set to tip off basketball season here in the next week or so, so that means we had to come at you with the season preview live stream. We're going to talk to staff, let you know the new coaching staff, the new roster. We'll talk projected lineups, and then we'll take a look at the schedule, maybe talk about how many wins we think this team might win this season. And if you guys got any questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you guys in the chat as well. And joining me to help do all that, of course, as we get set to preview this upcoming basketball season and the debut of the Ross Hodge era, got my co-host Steven in the house. What's going on, Steven?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, man. So we'll dive into it. We'll start off with the coaching staff here momentarily. But before we talk staff, before we talk roster, I mean, how are you feeling about this team? Just kind of opening thoughts, I guess, heading into this season. Like we said, whole new coaching staff, whole new roster, the new era, the Ross Hodge era. How are you feeling about things?
Pretty good right about now. If you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have said mostly indifferent. I really didn't know what to expect out of this team, and that's not to say that I was thinking that they wouldn't be good. I just didn't really know what to expect. I think that most of this offseason, I've just been still in shock from what happened from at the end of last season. But as we get closer to the season, and as I find out more about the cohesiveness of this team, I guess I get really, really excited. I think everybody's heard by now about the details of the quote unquote secret scrimmage that they had the other day against Maryland, and Honor Huff dropping 32 points, and then Trey Eaglestaff adding, I think, 20-some more to that. So that's one thing that I'm really excited about, is to see a continuation, really, of us being able to score the ball at a somewhat consistent rate. And then to add to that, I'm really excited to hopefully have some size that can really add some value to our team, because I think that's something that's really been lacking, not only in the past couple of years, but for quite some time now. And I think it's really evident when playing a lot of those teams inside the Big 12 Conference, because that's what makes a lot of those teams good. Kansas oftentimes has a really quality big man in the paint that can, really cause some havoc down there, and then in that, causing some space on the outside and giving their shooters some space. So there's a lot of value in that. I think that Ross Hodge prides himself on the defensive end, so I'm really excited to see us have some quality defensive play again. Overall, I'm trying to calm myself down and take my blue and gold glasses off a little bit. But I really like what I'm seeing out of this team and what I'm hearing about them so far. And I like the personalities. I listened to Trey Eaglestaff's press conference last night from the other day, and I really like how well-spoken he is. He seems like a really mature young man, just like a lot of them do on the team. OBO Haas really exciting to watch. I think a lot of fans are really going to he's going to be a fan favorite really, really quickly among Mountaineer fans.
Yeah.
And he's already one of my favorites just from watching the clip from him the other day being mic'd up in practice. So, but overall, really excited, man. Really excited.
Me too, man. I think that you put it best. Like the excitement's only grown because I think when we hired Coach Hodge, I was really sold on the defense, and I was wondering what we were going to do offensively. But then we bring in some of these scorers like Eagle Staff, the best shooter in the country, the best 3-point shooter in the country last season, Honor Huff, and so you're like, okay, we're gonna have some offense to go along with that defense. And then the other question people had was, but are we going to be able to recruit? And you look now, as our friend Scott here in the chat says, big-time recruits coming in under Coach Hodge. That's right. I mean,
Yeah.
You look right now, the guys that reclassified to this class, like Amir Jenkins, who we'll talk about when we go over the roster momentarily, was super high rated. I don't have my notes in front of me from the video that I did a couple weeks ago talking about it, but I think it was at least 4 of the top 40 recruits in program history right now are under Coach Hodge. So, that's a heck of a start already before he's even got one season under his belt. So I think that the excitement is real. I'm right there with you. I'm excited as well to see what this can hold for the future because I think it looks super bright. Looks like a super bright future under Coach Hodge. Let's hope it pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, like I was saying earlier, it's really hard. It was really hard there for a little while to see some positive light. But I think that after meeting Coach Hodge and seeing his personality, I think he really, I don't know, he seems to really be a good fit. I don't know how really a better way to say that, but to gel well with the fans. So that's one thing that I'm excited about. I think that was something that we missed last year. I think it's a glaringly obvious thing now, but I don't think that DeVries really ever had that personality that a lot of people really liked.
No, he's definitely the polar opposite with Coach Hodge. You can tell he really wants to be here. He's enjoying being here, and he's appreciative of being here as well and being a part of WVU basketball and wants to take us to that next level. And let's hope that he can do so, which I guess is a great transition into talking a little bit about the coaching staff. We'll lead off with that, then we'll go over the roster a little bit and the potential rotations for this season. So let's pull up the roster here on the university's official site. Of course, we talked a good bit about Coach Hodge there. I think we've talked extensively enough about him throughout the offseason. Thank you. Guys know him pretty well. But most recent staff addition, Yusuf Ali, coming over, and he's one of the big reasons West Virginia's been getting some of these big recruits. Ali Odium, who's one of the 2026 commits, has a connection with Yusuf Ali. His teammate, Miles Sadler, is one of the highest rated players in that entire 2026 recruiting class that West Virginia is also in on. So I think Yusuf Ali is going to be a great weapon for West Virginia recruiting-wise. Then you have Johnny Estelle, who's been with Coach Hodge for quite some time. He has an extensive, coaching history spanning decades. They're coming over from North Texas. And then, of course, a familiar face for West Virginia fans in Phil Forte, who we remember lighting it up at Oklahoma State, knocking down 3-point shots. But since he's became a coach, he's been really impressive, in my opinion. 8 years of coaching experience, and he's already turned 10 different players into 13 all-conference players. So Aiden Wright and Jason Edwards being the two most recent ones back at North Texas. They were both first-team all-conference players under Phil Forte's tutelage, and I think he does a great job with the offense there under Coach Hodge. And the same can be said about Jace Hurl on the opposite side. We know that Ross Hodge was kind of the defensive assistant for Grant McCaslin, who's now the Texas Tech coach. Once Ross Hodge got that North Texas job, Jace Hurl kind of took over that role for him. He's a guy with 15 years of head coaching experience. He was interim head coach at Colorado State back in 2018. He's been at North Texas the past 2 seasons. Like I said, defensive specialist that's going to help out. Then, of course, you have your support staff down here with your director of recruiting, Mike Randall, another assistant coach in Andre Shaw, who's also coming over to help Coach Hodge there. So thoughts on the coaching staff, Stephen, that's been assembled here under Ross Hodge in his first season?
Overall impressed. I think, like you said, I think the most impressive one to me is Yusuf Ali.
Yeah.
The recruiting that he's already been able to do in just the short amount of time that he's been here. I mean, he hasn't even been here for 2 full months. You know what I mean? And he's already been able to make a huge impact. So really excited about him. Phil Forte for obvious reasons. Glad to have him on our staff instead of watching him light us up behind the 3-point line. But yeah, man, I think that this is a formidable staff, man.
Yeah.
It was something that I really was kind of questioning there for a little while. I didn't really know who we would be able to go out and get, and I think that this one is it's a great one.
I agree.
I hope we can keep Yusuf for a while though, because Yusuf he's the type of guy that you're gonna have to make him stay. You're gonna have to make it lucrative
for him. That's what I'm worried about with both him and Forte, because I think, between him and Forte, you got two great recruiters can really help you a lot. Because we saw, Forte help us get Honor Huff and Eagle staff, and then of course with Hodge and Hurl, you got the defensive side as well. So I think the longer we can keep this staff together, the better for the future. But we also have some up and coming stars that are going to be hard to hang on to for a while. But hey, we'll enjoy him while we got him here, because I think we had a good staff assembled for this debut season here in 2025.
Yeah, look how big that smile is on old Ross Hodge, man. He just looks happy to be there.
Hey, that's right. That's what I said. He's happy to be here, man. Complete polar opposite. Which we've talked a little bit about the staff. Let's go over the roster here. We'll just go through it numerically here as they have it on the university site. Then I did try and draft up what I think may be the rotations for this upcoming season. We'll try and put our best guess towards that. But here is the roster for the upcoming year. I know it's all new players, so you may not know. So we'll run through it and let you know who's going to be wearing what jersey number and all that. So Brennan Lorient, he'll be number 0. He'll be one of your starters most likely. 6'9", 215-pounder. Came over from North Texas with Coach Hodge. Super freak athlete. He's going to be excited
about
him.
it.
Fan favorite. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. He can jump out the gym. And then we have number 3, Jasper Floyd. Likely to be your team starting point guard at 6'3", 195, also coming over from North Texas. He can dish it out. He's great on the defensive end, and I think he really fits for what we want to do with the players we're going to have on the wing, with his ability to drive and kick and his ability to, run the Coach Hodge defense as well. And like I said, he'll be wearing number 1 out there on the court.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we have Amir Jenkins, who is one that we wanted to touch on because this is a guy that was supposed to be a 2026 recruit and was one of the higher-rated 2026 recruits. Reclassifies, comes in early. Now he'll be playing with the Mountaineers this year as a true freshman, likely as the backup point guard. There's a good chance at 6'2", 180. Great size coming in as a freshman, and his potential is just through the roof, Stephen.
Yeah, and that's what made me reluctant to speak on Jasper Floyd just a second ago, is because, funny enough, Amir's there's already been leaked photos of him playing with the ones.
Yeah, he's run with the ones
with the starting lineup, and that's not to say that he's going to start day one, but that's strong potential for a true freshman that graduated early.
Yeah.
So sky's the limit for him. That next one you're about to talk about, though, is the one I'm most excited about, though.
I was about to say, we'll go ahead and talk about number 3. Y'all are going to be looking out for that number 3 when you watch the Mountaineer basketball, because you are going to absolutely love Honor Huff. Led the nation in most three-pointers made last year, as Steven mentioned. Super secret scrimmage against Maryland. West Virginia wins that. He has 32 points. He hits 10 threes on better than 50% from three-point range. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him, watch defenses try and chase him around out there and him tire him down, running around screens and all of that, and then having other options, to kick it to as well. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun watching Honor Huff this season, and he'll definitely be a fan favorite with how he can shoot the basketball.
Absolutely. I think that without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to be a fan favorite very quickly. The only thing that I think that will hinder him is if, for whatever reason, we're not going to be able to create him some space. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Like I mentioned earlier, I think the big men that we have will be able to do that for us. And I encourage anybody that hasn't already done so, go onto YouTube and search Honor Huff highlights.
Yes.
And thank me later. Oh my goodness gracious! I don't know what made me reluctant to see his highlights before last week, but my goodness, man, that kid can shoot the ball.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy that. I definitely recommend that as well, for sure. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch this year. I can't wait. Can't wait to watch Honor Huff light it up this season at the Hope Coliseum. And then we move on to wearing number 4 on the roster, another true freshman, and Jaden Forsyth, listed as a guard, could probably play guard or forward, 6'5", 195, and funny enough, it's a similar story to, a guy that we had last year in Jonathan Powell. As Jonathan Powell last year, you may remember, was committed to Xavier, flips to WVU, ends up coming in. WVU is a true freshman. Jaden Forsyth, about a couple, 2-3 months ago, was committed to Xavier, flips to WVU, and will be coming in as a true freshman, a 4-star recruit, joining the Mountaineers out of New York, Jaden Forsyth.
I guarantee you, Xavier fans are not happy with WVU right now.
Yeah, they don't like us right now. Absolutely not. And then I'll tell you what, man, this next guy, he'll be wearing number 5. It's another true freshman in DJ Thomas. He's from Texas. North Texas was recruiting him when Coach Hodge and company came to WVU. He decided to flip to WVU as well. But what's crazy about DJ Thomas is, when we were recruiting him, he was listed 6'6", 6'7". The team photo comes out, and he's right up there, probably a little bit taller than Brendan Lorient, not much shorter than Harlan Obioha. So as much as, we knew we had the big man in Obioha and we were wondering, man, we need a second big, I think that quietly we have some guys that can play, the 4 or 5 if we need them to. And I think DJ Thomas, despite being a true freshman, is going to be one of those guys because he's really hit a growth spurt. He's probably pushing 6'10" at this point as a true freshman. And so I think, high ceiling on DJ Thomas as well.
Yes, I think very high ceiling. I think if a lot of times you grow maybe not exactly a full inch, but there's potential to grow even more, from your freshman season. So that 6'9", even 6'10" could potentially turn into 6'11".
And 225 coming in, that's not a small frame for a true freshman.
No.
So definitely got a chance to be, a big body that can help you rebound and all of those things for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say, especially going into the Big 12 conference where there's going to be, a lot of teams that you're going to have to be strong in the paint. I mean, it's not only good that we have one of those guys, we got a few of those guys because, Obioha is not a small guy either.
Yeah, that's for sure. Next up, wearing number 7 this year, we got another true freshman and Evans Barning Jr., and this is the first player to join the roster this year that comes via that Yusuf Ali connection that we talked about there with his ties to Canada, as Barning Jr. is from Toronto, Ontario. Maybe, someone that doesn't contribute as much right away, but I still do think he has a bright future down the line, coming in at 6'7", 200 pounds as a true freshman.
Yep.
And then we have returning Abraham Oyedeer back with the Mountaineers. He previously considered entering the transfer portal, decides to come back, and, although he's young, he's going to be a redshirt freshman. He does have the size at 6'9", 225, originally from Ghana, continuing to learn the game, continuing to develop. But as long as he sticks around and you can have him for, 3, 4, 5 years, might be someone that can contribute for you, when all is said and done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't realize his frame was so big at 225.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a big guy, for sure.
Yeah, he's deceiving with his frame. He looks more like I don't know, I would have guessed 185, 190.
He looks thinner than what he is.
Maybe 200.
Then we have Chance Moore, who is going to be a really good player for West Virginia this year, but do need to note here he will be out. I believe it's either 5 or I think it's the first 5 games, 5 or 6. I want to say it's 5 though. He'll be missing as he had to, get the petition for this eligibility this year. As you see there, he's listed as a 5th-year player. I still call him a senior technically, but nonetheless, Chance Moore, someone with great history, was on a really good St. Bonaventure's team last year. He's actually played in the Coliseum a few years ago when he was at, I believe, Missouri State, and he put up 20-some points in the Coliseum against WVU. So we know he can score it. He's also a guy that can play multiple positions for you. You can put him on the wing. You can even play him as a stretch 4 if you need to at 6'6", 210. Chance Moore, I think fans will like him once he debuts a few games into the season. He'll be wearing number 13, another good addition for West Virginia via the portal, Stephen.
Yeah, we got a lot of these portal additions, Cruz.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
A lot of them. Most of them are,
all of them.
Most of them are seniors,
That's just a joke. They're all transfers.
They're all.
We don't have
all of them.
Every single one of them.
And then we got Jackson Fields, who I think will be a great contributor this upcoming season as well. 6'8", 225 forward. And I've been really, impressed with him when I went back and watched him a little bit for sure, because I think that when you see him, he really stands out like with what they did in the tournament. And Troy was a tournament team, and he was one of the key cogs on that tournament team. He's really gritty in the post. I think he's going to be one of our better rebounders. I just like the way that he plays, man. I think Rich Rod would consider him a hard edge type of guy, in my opinion. But don't sleep on his ability to shoot the basketball as well, despite being 6'8", more of a big man type. He can shoot a little bit also. I think that's the case with a lot of our, stretch 4 guys that we have on this roster. So I like Jackson Fields coming over from Troy. Be wearing number 15 for the Mountaineers this upcoming season.
Yeah, I'm excited for him as well, mostly because of his physicality. I didn't really see a lot of highlights where he could score the ball that well, but I believe you.
Yeah. And then we got
not that I've seen otherwise. It's just a lot of the highlights that I've seen was more his defense and his physicality.
Defense
what I'm excited
rebounding
about.
is definitely the name of his game, number 1, first and foremost, for sure. which is great. That fits right in with the Ross Hodge's system. Which brings us to a couple of guards that we added a little bit later in the process, more, probably developmental type guys, but still, you love to have them on the roster, and you can never have too many guards on the roster. As West Virginia brought in MJ Finane out of Miami, a 6'6", 190 true freshman. He'll be wearing number 20. And then Neil Howitt, he transferred over. He's originally a native of Japan. He's 6'4", 180. He'll be a redshirt freshman guard wearing number 21 for the Mountaineers. And then we bring it to the final few players here on the roster, all of which should be contributors for West Virginia, a couple of which will be starters, but one of those that won't, but will likely be a key reserve, as we'll pull up the rotation next momentarily, or at least we believe the projected rotation may be. We got to talk Morris Ugasuk, who's coming over from South Carolina. He's going to be a junior guard, 6'4", 180 pounds. He'll be wearing number 23, and one of multiple absolute snipers that Coach Ross Hodge brought in, which I think is great with the way that they're going to run this system, because they're going to really be able to space the floor, and you can't really choose to double team anyone because you leave somebody else open. They'll be able to drive and kick and hit some shots, and Ugasuk is one that's going to come off the bench and hit a lot of those. We're talking about a guy that shot over 40% from three-point range last season, Steven. So I'm excited about this pickup as a reserve for West Virginia. I think that he could be a really good bench scorer.
Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about, and you hit the nail on the head. Coming off the bench, I think that he's going to provide some fresh legs that'll hopefully be some consistency again in that scoring that we'll hopefully still have. Just as much as you need quality starters, you need quality depth behind those guys. I often think that you don't just need 10 guys that you're going to play every game. You probably need about 11 or 12 if you want to be successful and want to be have longevity throughout the season and stay healthy.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think it's very positive in that way.
I do as well. Which brings us to, if Honor Huff isn't the player that gets you most excited, then it's probably this young man right here, because Trayson Eaglestaff, man, when we were able to get him to, he was originally committed elsewhere, decommits, ends up at WVU, and this guy was, one of the talks of the portal when he entered because of what he did last season as a scorer. We're talking he put 40-plus points up on Alabama, who we know the type of season that they had last year, and then put up 50-plus points in their conference championship game. He was the only player in college basketball last year to have two 40-plus point games, and now he'll be scoring for the Mountaineers. And, of course, we're talking about number 52 this year, Trayson Eaglestaff, 6'6", 205-pound transfer from North Dakota. He'll be a senior this year, can play guard, can play forward. But, man, Steven, can this guy ball?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's evident. You can just, like I said, I listened to his press conference, or it's not his press conference, it was an interview. It wasn't really a press conference. But, just well-articulated, well-spoken young man. You can just tell he's very mature. He's got a lot of experience. You can tell in the way he speaks about things. But probably one of the most talented basketball players West Virginia's had since Joe Alexander. I think that he's a better version of what Joe Alexander was, and Joe Alexander was really good at basketball. I like that. There's a lot that there's a lot that excites me about Trayson, man. He's like the prototypical basketball player. That's legitimately what came to my mind whenever I first seen his highlights. I was like, man, what a prototype.
Yeah, he's a ball player.
You know what I mean?
That's him.
Because, he's just a baller. He can take you to the rack. He can shoot it. He can play good defense. That's what you...
He can pass it. He played point guard.
He can pass it.
He can do
right.
it all.
Yeah, he can really do it all. He's an all-around basketball player. And, you really... I think that the biggest positive for Trayson and this basketball team is from the way it looks. There's plenty of talent around Trayson, so he's not going to have to be the one that carries most of the load. And that should be a positive for all of them, because I think as much as I love the season that Javon Small had last year, I think that in a lot of ways it was unfair to him because it did put so much pressure on him. And I think that to be successful as an entire team or individually, I think that the team needs to obviously work well together, but they also have to, I don't know. They also just have to.
They have more guys to carry the load this year instead of having to put it all on one man,
Right. It's got to be a team effort, and it can't just be one guy carrying everybody else along the way.
And I think
There's a
that'll be
lot to
good.
say a little bit, but
Yeah, that'll be good for this season because it seems like we said, we mentioned a couple here. We've got two guys that could score like Javon that we've talked about already with Honor and now Trayson as well. Both those guys have that type of capability, which is nice. And then you surround them with the good defensive players, the good rebounders, the good floor spacers that we've talked about. It's going to be fun to watch, I think, how this offense develops. We all are expecting good defense under Coach Hodge, but I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how this team can score as well. And then last but certainly not least, we've teased it up a little bit there, and I think it's just super exciting to see West Virginia have a 7-footer again. It's been so long that we've had one, and we've added Harlan Obioha.
265, G.
265,
My
which he
Lord.
may have slimmed down a little bit. I don't know, because I think that Coach Hodge said that he did. I don't know if this is listed since he slimmed down or if he's less than that now, but I know that Coach Hodge said he slimmed down a good bit, and I think you can tell it, like you said, in the clips that they showed and stuff. He can really move up and down the floor now. When you watch him at his previous school, he wasn't as mobile, and I think that now he'll fit Coach Hodge's offense and defensive systems better with his ability to get up and down the floor, still keep that large frame. He's got great feet in the post. He'll be wearing number 55, like we said, 7 foot, 265-pound senior. Great feet in the post. He's going to help you because he can score on the block, and if you got a guy like him and a guy like Lorian and some of the others that can score on the block, what that does for you, you can kick down into those guys, and then if they're scoring one-on-one, that causes the defense to collapse and try and double team in the posts. And if they do that, you got Eagle Staff out on the wing, you got Hunter Huff out on the wing, you got Morris Ugas, whoever that you're going to kick back out to, and that's going to be some more opportunities. So I'm glad to hear that he's a good passer. I'm glad to hear that he can score in one-on-one situations, and of course he's going to bring us some defense and rebounding capabilities as well, Stephen.
Yeah, and absolutely. And like you said, you're going to have multiple guys that you're hopefully going to be able to count on in different situations. So, I mean, it's going to be harder for teams to key on certain guys, and that'll also provide you a little bit of space and open some guys up, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. So now that you know the names on the staff and the names on the roster, let's pull up what could potentially be a rotation for this year's team. Of course, this is just speculative right now. We'll see how it breaks out once the season gets rolling. And then we want to wrap this up by taking a look at the schedule, maybe breaking it down month by month and seeing how many wins we feel like West Virginia will get in each month and trying to come up with some type of prediction from there to round this thing out. Something a little fun there at the end. But this is what the lineup most likely will be. I feel pretty confident in these being the 5 starters for West Virginia, with Jasper Floyd at the point guard, Honor Huff at the 2 guard, Trayson Eaglestaff out on the other wing there as the 3-man. And then your 4 being Brennan Lorient, and your starting center being Harlan Obioha. Any objections there to the starters potentially, Stephen?
No, that's exactly who I would say.
Yep, I think so. I think that's what we'll see when West Virginia tips this off, and we'll see if that remains the case throughout the season. But what stands out there, 5 seniors.
I was getting ready to say.
And I think, Coach Hodge has talked about all of these guys coming from programs that have won. Eagle Staff, his team won the conference title, I believe. Honor Huff won the NIT against, North Texas, who made the NIT championship, which is where Jasper Floyd and Brennan Lorient are from. Harlan Obioha's team played in the NCAA tournament, and you go on down this roster and see that. But 5 seniors, all very capable, and it sounds like they've all gelled, really good together. So that's nice for the potential starting lineup.
Yep.
Which then takes us to projected rotational and projected development players. The projected development players, I think, right now are Abraham Oyadir, Evans Barning Jr., Neil Howlett, and MJ Finane. Now, the projected rotational players, I will say there's a bit of a caveat here because I don't think that all 3 of these true freshmen see a ton of action this year. I think once we get into conference play, you're going to see Coach Hodge put this down to probably a 9 or 10-man rotation. So one of these guys will probably see their minutes cut once we get into conference play slightly. But I think at least starting out here in non-con, the guys that you'll see rotating in will be Amir Jenkins at guard, Chance Moore at either guard or forward, Jackson Fields and DJ Thomas coming in as reserve big men, and then, of course, out on the wings, Morris Ugasuk and Jaden Forsythe there. How you feel about that type of rotation, Stephen? You think that seems pretty accurate starting out?
No, yeah, I think so. I think DJ Thomas, he should provide a good rotational piece early on in the season, even being a freshman with his size. Like we've already mentioned, Amir Jenkins.
Yeah.
I think that it might be a little bit of what they see out of Amir early on in the season, whether they decide to, make him more of a developmental guy and cut his minutes a little bit.
Yeah, I think between him or Forsyth, probably one of the two, because I think you'll need DJ Thomas more because of his size. I think, once you get into conference play, you could see either Jenkins or Forsyth maybe get a little bit out of the rotation a bit. But I do like the mixture here of the guys coming off the bench with, talented freshmen and then some upperclassmen guys with your seniors that we talked about with Chance Moore and Fields, and then Ugasuk as well, who can really shoot it as a junior. So I think I like the fact that we still should have some scoring capability off the bench as well.
Yeah, and how ironic is it that, I mean, like, we have a completely new group of guys, and it's a veteran group. You know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy, right? Today's day and age, man.
But, and like what I mentioned that about Amir Jenkins, if he's already projected to be with the ones, and he's already being shown in leaked pictures with the ones, then, I mean, the writing's on the wall there. It might be, you might say Jaden's going to be the one that's going to get his minutes cut.
Which, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that's kind of the way that I see it going, is because, with Chance Moore being out the five or six games, whatever it is, Forsyth's going to get some of those minutes, but once Moore comes back, those are going to dip down a little bit, and then may dip down even further once you get into conference play, because as we've seen throughout, many WVU basketball seasons, non-con, sometimes we'll play 12, 13 players, but when we get into conference play, 8, 9, 10 guys is about it. So we'll see how it shakes out there, but it's kind of the way we see it here, which brings us to maybe the most fun portion of this thing here before we get ready to wrap this up. And we'll get some
excited
of
I'm
your
about
comments too. Me too, man. We'll get some of your all's comments before we wrap up as well, but we want to take a look at the schedule. Now, we'll exclude the exhibition, obviously, since it doesn't count, but we'll just kind of go through this month by month. I think would be the easiest way to do this, Stephen. So, month of November, you got Mount St. Mary's, you got Campbell, you got Lehigh, you got the Backyard Brawl, you got Lafayette, and then you got the tournament where you'll play Clemson, Georgia, Xavier, some variation of those teams, for sure you'll play Clemson. So we're talking at least about 8, 9 games here in November, with you wrapping up in Mercyhurst, back at home. Let's say of those 9 games, how many wins you see there, Stephen?
There's 8 games there, right, if I'm counting correctly?
Let's see. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I guess you are right. That is 8. I guess I was counting the Wheeling. Yeah,
the Wheeling game. Yeah. I mean, I have not looked to see what Clemson or Georgia has for their basketball squad this year. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 8. I'm going to say 8.
I'll say 7 or 8. I think 7 or 8's definitely.
Okay. We could say 7 or 8. I was just trying to give a straight fourth.
Yeah, let's go. Say 7 or 8.
But how interesting would it be if Xavier ends up being the team we play there?
I'm kind of hoping that it would be after the past couple of years and after what we talked about earlier. That'd be interesting.
I mean,
like our chances.
Do you hope that, or I mean, that's a recipe for them to?
It is, but hey, we'll see what happens. I do like our chances against Clemson because I've talked to our mutual friend Mikey, and he said he doesn't really have the best feeling about their team this year. So who knows? But we'll see how it pans out there.
They've had good squads, but you just never know with them.
Yeah, it's hit or miss, but I do like their coach, and they have potential. And I'm interested to see. I think that's your big challenge there, because I think Schittsburg's a little down this year, and you should win all the other games that you have there.
And we're playing at home.
Yeah, we're playing at home, and we owe them. Plus,
can I make a point real quick?
So I'm really just concerned about that tournament in November. I think that's what you're looking.
I just want to make a point real quick, and then we can move on. I thought about this the other day, and it helped me feel better. We gave a lot of credit to that dude last year. DeVries. The one thing he didn't do? Beat Pitt.
He got slaughtered by Pitt.
He got slaughtered by Pitt. So bye.
He did. That's right. We're gonna correct that this year with the real head man. So we're feeling pretty good about the start of the season there. I mean, we're thinking 7, maybe even 8 wins in November, depending on how that.
I'm gonna say 8. I'm gonna manifest it.
Stephen will go 8.
You got me excited, man.
I'll go 7 to be.
Honor Huff and Trayson's got me really excited over here.
Me too, man. Me too. So let's go to December, where West Virginia will play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games in the month of December. You go Copen State. You got the neutral site game against Wake Forest. You go Little Rock. You got the neutral site game against Ohio State, and then Mississippi Valley State. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in December, Stephen. How many do you see West Virginia taking?
I'm gonna say 4 and 1. As much as I want to say 5, I think I think they dropped one of the ones with Wake Forest, Ohio State. I think they probably dropped the one with Ohio State. They say that it's a neutral site game, but I'm pretty sure that's
It's
like the
in
Cleveland Event
it's like in
Center or some
Cleveland, yeah.
stupid like I don't
So
know.
technically neutral site, even though it's pretty much in their state. So,
Yeah.
but I'll agree with you there. I think that's right. I think that I'd love to see us win both those games, and we have the capability to. But benefit of the doubt, I'll say we split it. I'll give us 4 there as well. So that put me at 11, you at 12 at this point, which brings us to January, and we're hitting conference play. At Iowa State, at home against Cincinnati, home against Kansas, on the road at Houston, home against Colorado, and then nice little Arizona road trip there. At Arizona State, at Arizona, and then back home, Kansas State and Baylor to wrap up January. Some tough games in there for sure, Stephen. Let's see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, 9 games there if I'm counting correctly, I do believe.
9. 1, 2,
Uh,
3, 4,
having-
5, 6, 7,
Yeah, I
8.
think it's 9. How many you got West Virginia winning in January then at that point?
Gosh, man, let me think. I'm going to give us a benefit of the doubt against Kansas because we always seem to have their number in
At
Morgantown.
home.
At home at very least. Did go out there and smack them last year, and I was,
True.
gosh, man, 9 games. Give me. I think you come out of there with 6 wins, you're in good shape. I think that's a pretty difficult schedule.
That'd be tough.
For the month of January right there, and it probably doesn't. I know the schedule in February. It does not get any easier going into the month of February. So I'm gonna give us some positivity. I think 6 wins is good.
I'm gonna say, let's see. I'll give us 5. I'll give us a winning record there. I'll give us 5.
Okay.
I think I'd give us 5 there. So that'd put me at about, I think, 16 wins. At
I
this
mean, you got to
point.
play. You got to play at Iowa State. You got to play at Houston, who is, I mean,
Yeah, some tough
in
games
all
there.
likelihood, going to be one of the better teams in the entire country. Probably one, top 3 at that. Arizona likely going to be really, really good. Baylor likely going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
There's just some really good teams that we got to play in the
it
month of
really is.
January. So
Once conference play
that
hits,
Kansas
man,
win could be.
that schedule gets real. I think that's why it's good to have, like we talked about there, having 11, 12 wins, if we can get it in non-con, is going to be crucial because then, if we can find a way to win, 5 to 8 conference games, we'll have a great chance of making the big dance, which takes us to February, which is going to be tough as well for West Virginia. They will play, looks like 7 games here in February as well. They will have Cincinnati, Texas Tech, UCF, Utah, TCU, Oklahoma State, and BYU, with Baylor, Texas Tech, Utah, and BYU being the home games throughout that period, Stephen. So we got 7 here in February. Some more tough games. How many wins you get West Virginia there in the month of February?
I'm going back and forth here. I'm going back and forth between 4 and 5. I'm gonna say 4.
I think I'd give us. Man, I don't know. Those are on the road, but I think that you can beat most of those road teams. Maybe the home games. I think you can maybe get Utah. I think I'll go 3. I'll go 4. I'll give us 3 road wins.
I'll say I'll
home win. I'll go 4.
Give them the
as well.
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So that would put me, I think, at put me about 18. I think put me right around 18 wins.
I think I'm sitting right at 20, right?
And I think you're right at 20. Yeah, with
I think
2
I'm
games
right
left
at
in the
20.
season in March, they'd play at Kansas State and versus UCF. I'd give them a split there. So I'm gonna say this team's right around 19 wins before the Big 12 championship game. Just kind of looking at it here, I think they could pull that off. And if they do, that's a good chance of being a tournament team. And how are you feeling about the month of March and where you end up in this thing?
I think that if we're sitting around 20 wins at that spot, we got 2 games left in the season. I think that it'll be a glaringly obvious feat to fight for. Last year's team was stripped of an NCAA tournament berth at 21 wins. Am I correct about that? Was it 21 wins that we had?
They were at 19.
Or was it 19?
I think they were at 19.
Was it 19?
I think so. I don't think we hit 20.
I could have sworn we had at least 20. My memory sucks. But anyway.
but usually at like 18 in the Big 12, especially if you have
Matthew
like
says we had
conference
19. Okay,
wins.
he agrees with you. We had 19.
Okay.
Okay, so my point is negated. I'll give us one. We'll win 21 games.
I like it. So we're
I
both
think we win that
hovering-
last game.
We're both hovering close to 20 wins. I'm a little below. You're right there, at it one above. So, and I think if West Virginia has that type of season, this is definitely a tournament team, and who knows what can happen once you get there. But
Yeah, unless
like
your
looking-
team comes and scoops it out of existence for us.
yeah, unless you will get old Bubba Cunningham in there again.
Yeah.
You never know. But I like it, man. I like it. So with that being said, I guess that's pretty much what we wanted to cover here. We'll get to some of your all's comments. I want to hit this really quickly. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys this last piece of info, and we'll get up to some of your all's comments here. So did want to hit the game promos for basketball. Of course, you got the first one here on the 26th, which is Haunted Hoops. They have inflatables, face painters, costume contest for the exhibition against Wheeling.
Also, tomorrow, did want to give a shout out to the
Ballin' at Woodburn.
the Ballin' at Woodburn. Man, I want to go to that so bad. I'm really tempted to go up tomorrow night and just stay the night in my car. Me and Tori just stay the night in the car.
It's probably worth it, man. It'd probably be a great time.
We wouldn't be able to do it, man. We got the kid, man. But
yeah, that's true. Hey, man.
But
if you can make it though.
If you are around or available to go up there, I think that you should definitely go there. They're giving out free T-shirts to the first 500 people that say "Ballin' at Woodburn," and I would kill for one of those shirts. If you are going, I wear a size large, man. I'm a nice guy. Please give me one.
Yeah, might as well hook the boy Steven up, man. Hook the boy
Hook
up.
me up, man.
Moving on to the rest of the game promotions really quickly. November 4th against the Mount St. Mary's. Of course, that's the home opener. There'll be a poster giveaway. November 6th is the canned food drive. November 9th is Family Day and Military Appreciation. The Backyard Brawl will be the Gold Rush game. There'll be concourse activities. Red Panda is going to be there at halftime. And a magnet giveaway.
Red Panda. Is she the
unicycle?
She
with the
she
plates.
throws the bowls up on her head?
Yeah, the bowls and plates or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but she failed not too long ago. So I'm
Did
glad
she
she's
really?
back on. I'm glad she's back up on her horse.
Yeah, I never seen her fall before. Dang, that's great.
Yeah, apparently she went to she fell, had a back concussion. Like,
jeez.
yeah,
she's a stud, man. She's awesome.
Yes, she is.
Then you got November 17th. You're gonna have a toy drive and it's happy hour night. November 30th against Mercyhurst is Family Day. December 3rd is the toy drive and happy hour night again. December 9th, you got $15 tickets. That's a good deal. And then lastly, December 22nd is Holiday Hoops, where you'll have Santa in the concourse, photo booth, holiday sweater contest, all that as we get close to Christmas there for that one. So there it is, guys. I think that's pretty good for a season preview in my book. I mean, you get to know the staff, get to know the roster, potential rotation, and even me and Steven get them a little record prediction as we break down the schedule there. So any other final thoughts there, Steven, before we get to some comments from the chat before we wrap up?
No, man. Like I said, just really optimistic, excited, ready to get the season started. We've got 3 days now, Sunday, and we can watch us a scrimmage or an exhibition, not a scrimmage. Sorry.
That's right.
What's the difference?
Same difference.
But yeah, man, really excited.
Nice. Scott asked how many wins in hoops this year. I think we just answered that for you, Scott. I'm sure your question came in beforehand, but I'm a little bit below 20, and Steven's, right there at 2021. So it should be a good year if that pans out. Hopefully, we're a little bit more accurate on the basketball predictions.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it, man. They got me. They're making me a believer with the way they played in that scrimmage the other day. I was like, gosh, because if y'all don't know, Maryland was an Elite Eight squad last year. So I mean, like, that's some impressive stuff.
And their new coach is Buzz Williams, who as much as we hate him, he's been a good coach at basketball. So
Yeah.
Let's see.
Through that.
Let's see where were we at here? It's Coop says 25 wins, so he's even more optimistic than us. Coop, I like it.
I like
it, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Eric Flower says, looking forward to b-ball season way more than I was excited about this football team that has cost me $500 on the over-under. Oof. Ah, man, that win line gets you. Last year was grand. Let's get a gambling page set up. At this point, I think we need to, Eric, man. But I feel your pain. They hit me on that win line yet again. Vegas got me again too, man. Not for quite as much, but they got me too, man. So I feel your pain. Hopefully you win a little bit back on the basketball season. They're a little bit more successful for you.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up. What's easier to bet on sometimes, basketball or football?
Yeah, That's true. That's true. I don't know.
If you're
Sometimes I
me,
feel
none of
like
it's easy, and I always lose.
I feel like there's more upsets in basketball sometimes, but I don't know. There's been a lot of upsets in football this season too, so it's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
that's true. They said this season was the most upsets in football since what, '07?
Yeah, I
And that
think
was
so.
like an
And
upset
that's
every week, I
so
remember.
that's the crazy year. So I don't know. I do think, man, that they should. I know they never will, but I feel like there should be some type of deal. Like if your team has a ton of injuries, man, that should like void your win line bet or something. Because you make that bet way back in summer, and then by the time you get here, we got 86 injuries and stuff. So it sucks, man.
Yep.
Hey, our guy Matthew in here. No worries if you're late, man. Glad to see you hopping in, brother. Glad to see you catch it live. Glad to see YouTube actually give you a notification because I know how that goes. He says Honor and Trayson are going to be a lethal duo. Doesn't care what anybody says. Boom.
We agree.
100%.
Wholesomely agree.
This is crazy too. I forgot about this. Matthew's talking about Jaden Forsyth with Jonathan Powell, and they both flipped from Xavier on the exact same day, a year apart. That's wild.
That's the universe, baby.
That's the universe, exactly. It's 5. Okay, appreciate you guys. Seen Coop and Matthew saying it's the first 5 games. I couldn't remember if it was 5 or 6, so it is the first 5 games that we will be without Chance Moore for.
Yep.
Scott with another great question. Where do we finish in the Big 12? Big 12 media poll had us at 10th or 11th, I think.
Yeah.
Which sounds low, but when you look at how competitive the Big 12 conference is, I think the top 7 teams that were in that poll are all in the top 25. So
I mean, yeah, the Big 12 conference, if you say that that's not the best basketball conference in America, you are mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think that their prediction's that far off. I think we got a chance to get near the top 8. If I was guessing, I'd say 8th or 9th maybe. That's just my prediction.
I would say that's fair. I would say that's fair. I was going to say 7th or 8th. I think 8th or 9th is probably more realistic. You've got I mean, that's a gauntlet of a conference that we're in. Like we mentioned, you got Kansas always great. Iowa State's most of the time great. Baylor's most of the time great. Houston, since they've joined the conference, have just been nothing but sheer eliteness. And that's just to name a few. And there's always a few other teams that, they kind of fluctuate between being really good or being subpar. And so you just never really know with some of those teams, I guess you could say. Cincinnati has a chance to be really good this year. Kansas State has a chance to be really good this year. There's a lot of teams that have a chance to be really good, whether they are or whether they aren't. We don't really know yet, but you do know that some of those other ones are pretty consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally, I'm biased, obviously, because we play in this conference, but I think it's the best conference in college basketball. I mean, it's debatable, but I think it's tough, top to bottom.
I'm biased, but that's an unbiased opinion. If you look at facts, if you look at what everybody compares to one another in the football world and what makes the SEC so great, and the SEC is so great because they have the most ranked teams every single year. They have the best atmospheres. They have, all these things that make what makes the Big 12 great in basketball.
Yep. Totally
all
agree,
of those things. So
totally agree, but they'll still try and say Big 10, ACC or something always. I don't get it.
Oh Lord.
I don't get it.
The ACC, I've never understood that one. The only time that I've ever really thought that was deservable was whenever like Duke, UNC, Wake Forest, NC State, like it was all like they were all squads that year, and everybody in the ACC was pretty competitive those years.
You had Syracuse. You had some good teams.
Yeah.
Now it's just, it's just
Syracuse was Syracuse was Big East back then.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what even I said that back then. The Big East to me, and I'll still argue that, was not only a better basketball conference then, but I think one of the better basketball conferences that ever existed. I mean, 100%. Syracuse, Georgetown. I mean, like, I could sit here and name them all, but I'm not going to.
Don't even get me started.
It was
how much
lots.
I missed the Big East in both football and basketball. Tournaments at Madison Square Garden. I mean, like, oh man, it was.
I think basketball even more so for myself.
I probably agree. Which is kind of frustrating because you see the Big East still exists in basketball, and you're like, hey man, I feel like Squidward in that meme where he's like watching outside the window and he's looking at like SpongeBob and Patrick. That's me watching like Big East basketball nowadays. Like,
yeah, because I mean, like, it took me a while. I don't know what made me. All right, Bentley, I hear you.
Oh, going crazy.
I don't know what made me like take so long to realize that as a kid, but it took me a good few years before I realized, like, why are there so many more teams in basketball in the Big East than there are in football? Like, for the longest, I didn't realize that St. John's didn't have a football team. Georgetown didn't have a football team. Like, all these teams just played basketball and had elite basketball squads. Villanova, they had a football team, but it was Division II at the time. So a lot of I always thought that was really intriguing too, that, these schools were so elite at basketball without the other sports, when West Virginia has, like, you know what I mean? Like, they've got good basketball, they've got good football, they've got good baseball, they've got good soccer, they've got good, pretty much across the board.
Yeah, and it's rare. It's rare to be good in both. And West Virginia is one of those rare teams that has been pretty consistently good in both over the years. We want to get back to that, but we got a feeling we're going to be pretty good in basketball this season at least. As I see Matthew and Coop confirming that, so that is Obi Oha's new weight. He's lost about 30-plus pounds because he was up near 300, so down to that 265 now, which is good to see. I could tell he was slimmed down a good bit in the mic'd up clip that you were talking about, Steven, that they put out versus the highlights that I've seen previously.
That's why I said 265, because he looked like he had slimmed down a lot more than that.
Yeah, I agree. But let's see. Let's see if we got the other. Matthew says he thinks if we stay healthy all year, he can see us get 20 wins. I could see that too. I could see it too. I got us right close to it. I'm trying not to be too overly optimistic on this preview show, much like I was in the football show. But
because he's a UNC fan. That's why, guys. That's why he doesn't like to be optimistic, because he hates us. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, listen, you know what he told me the other day, guys? He told me, just for you guys, he's gonna burn all of his UNC stuff, and he's gonna do it live on stream for you guys right now.
I don't recall. I do not recall this.
He said, as a treat to all of the Country Roads Webcast faithful, and as his undying love and burning passion for WVU basketball burns in eternal fire.
Hey, well, I will say, though, in all seriousness, I really, really, really like Coach Hodge, and I'm probably going to follow WVU basketball this year more than I have in quite some time, because I am really, really excited about this team, and I'm balled in, man. He's got me. I'm in, and let's go Mountaineers,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm always bought in for the most part, but he's made me a believer. Like I said, I was really not really negative, but I just really was depressed for a little while there for a month or two and didn't really want to look at anything. I was just like, all right, man, I'm just over it for now. And he's bought me back in and made me a believer and got me excited again. So I can at least say that for him.
Me too. Which one final question to round it out. Scott chimes in with a good one. Do we join the madness next March? Is this team actually?
I think yes.
Are we tournament bound this year, you think?
I think yes. I think so. I think especially if you get the amount of wins that I believe that we're going to get and the talent that I believe that we have, I do think so. And I think that it's going to be something that makes Mountaineer fans really buy into Coach Hodge, especially after going through the situation that we did last year. I think that it's something that Mountaineer fans not only need, but we deserve, and quite, in all honesty.
Yeah, we definitely deserve it after how things panned out last year in multiple ways with not getting in, and then, of course, the DeSlee situation. So I'll say that I agree, man. I think that everyone should go ahead, get into their closet, get their dancing shoes out, get them all buffed up, get them ready, because when March comes around, you need to throw them things on, because the Mountaineers are probably going to go dancing this year with this team. I got a good feeling about it as well. So, but that's pretty much what I had, Steven. I think we did a pretty good rundown here for a basketball season preview. Now it's just waiting on the games and getting a chance to talk about this team a little bit more once some of those get rolling. You got anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, man, just really, really excited. I think when's the first game? I know the scrimmage is on Sunday. When's the first game? Is November 4th, which is what day is that?
I think it's a Tuesday.
So Tuesday. Yeah, really excited about Tuesday.
Me too. Can't get here soon enough, and we'll keep throughout the season coming back with these live streams, talking about the games as often as we possibly can. So be on the lookout here on the channel. Be sure you're subscribed here to the Country Roads Webcast channel. Great time to be subscribed, because we're about to hit that point in the season where both sports are coexisting, football and basketball. So you guys are going to have a ton of content coming your way. We appreciate you guys that watched this live and tuned in with some questions here on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. You can help us out that way, whether you're watching live or on a playback. If you didn't get a chance to chat, throw your thoughts in the comments comment section. We appreciate those interactions as well. Shout out to you guys over on Facebook or Twitch. Be sure to come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe so you get all that content directly into your feed in addition to these live streams. And of course, thank you to you guys that listen on any podcast platform. We appreciate those interactions as well, and leave us a rating there. That helps us out on that side of things. So that'll do it for our WVU Hoops.
Can we give him one of these before we head out?
Oh,
Can
yeah.
we give him one of these?
Let's go! Let's go!
Yeah, baby. Can't say it
Hell
any better
yeah.
right there
Gotta
than
love
Patty
Pat.
Mack himself.
Hey, man. Hey, shout out to Scott, man. He
I
says you do a
appreciate you,
great
Scott.
job, Cruz.
I appreciate you. I think he was talking to you, Stephen, but I appreciate it.
I think he's talking to you, buddy. I think it's you.
No, it's all you, buddy. It's all you. But no, you guys are the ones that do a great job, man. You guys that watch and
No doubt, man.
view and share the stuff and comment in the chat. You guys are the ones, man. We really appreciate that, and we're ready, man. We're ready for some Mountaineer basketball and the debut of the
Yes,
Ross
sir.
Hodge season. Can't wait to see it, and we're looking forward to it. For my co-host Stephen, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.